lyrics. Like
Mm.
Roxanne Shante to this day
Oh, she's not to be played with,
battle
man. She's not to
anybody
be
out
played with, man. She is not to be played with.
there.
Mm. And it
Lyrics.
and it's crazy. Like we having this talk right now, and it just remind me, it's 50 years of hip hop.
Yes.
50.
This is
50.
crazy.
I was going to bring
This
that
is
up too.
crazy.
Yeah, just the fact that it's evolved so much
Yeah.
in 50 years. And so like
Yeah.
whether it was the 80s, 90s, nowadays still, but just like the impact on like me
Yeah.
as a woman. I mean, I was in love with music, with hip hop since like the late 80s. And so that's
Yeah.
all that I knew. And so like whether it was Salt and Pepper, Queen Latifah, MC Light, Yo-Yo. I mean, I used to want to
Right.
be Yo-Yo. I used
Yeah.
to want to be.
You want to be yo-yo?
Yeah. Oh, that's like that movie Brown Sugar, right? They ask you,
Mhm.
when did you first fall in love with hip hop, right?
Yes.
I mean, the movie's kind of cheesy, but the hip hop theme, I,
What's the
I
point though?
absolutely appreciate it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know what that precipitates, right? Like we've been talking about it for a while, and you brought up Nas. Nas is definitely like 1A on my list. Like
Oh,
there's one and there's 1A. There's Nas
Okay.
is 1A on my list. So you know what that automatically brings. It's
yes.
funny you brought up the movie because we always talk about our top fives.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Me and Carol have tried to do this before, and I feel like the goalpost moves.
Yeah.
How
I'm glad
so?
that
It's
there's
it's
another
hard.
party here
It's
so
hard,
we
man.
can do our top five for real.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And
So like for
it's
me,
subjective, right?
for
It's
me,
Yeah.
subjective.
I'll start off. I'll
Yeah.
start off. So for me, like I've mentioned before, I love lyricists.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like there's multiple pieces of hip hop culture. There's b-boy dancing, doing breakdancing, being a b-boy. There's the graffiti artist, which I had an affinity to because I'm a little bit of an artist. There's you know MCing, spitting lyrics, and then there's being a DJ,
Right.
Right.
making the beats. That's the four tenets of hip hop. And so when I think back to my list, I have to really think like, yo, I had to break this down a couple of times because Carol breaks me down often about my top five list because my top five list tends to move based
Yeah.
based
But
on my
that's
mood that
It's
day.
fluid.
yeah,
It's
I
So
mean,
fluid.
so it's
Yeah.
it's
fluid. It's
yeah,
fluid. But no, 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 no.
exactly. There's nothing
no.
wrong with
Here
that.
it go. Here it go. Big
Okay.
Nas,
Mm-hmm.
Redman,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Brick
Black
City.
Thought,
Wait. Black. Oh, yes,
Black
yes,
Thought,
yes, yes. Purest MCs of all time.
Jadakiss,
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh,
Spitter.
Kiss.
okay.
Hey, and that's my top five, and I won't
I
Yep.
hear
was
Yep.
I
nobody
Hey,
was
else have
not
that.
expecting Jada. Okay, so like the other
can't hate on
four I
that.
get.
What can
Cannot
you
hate
do
on that.
with that list? Like I'm giving you storytelling, I'm
Can't hate on
giving
that.
you lyricism, I'm
Can't
giving
hate
you
on that at all.
energy, I'm giving you that thug shit.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, bro, like that, and then
Mm-hmm.
Redman just for the stoners.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay. With
Redman have his own lane. Nobody ever even come close to his style and delivery. Who? Like where? Like he is himself.
Nobody.
He is himself.
Redman is literally the most underrated artist in the game
I think so. And because he doesn't care about that.
because he
He doesn't
doesn't
care about
care.
fame.
And it's
He
funny
doesn't
you say like Jersey,
he does not care about that.
and that's that whole vibe. That's that whole vibe. That East Coast shit. Like we don't care. I'm here to rap.
That's it.
I'm here to bust people in the cipher. I'm not here to win plaques. I'm
No.
here to bust you in the cipher.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Man, yes, that's my five.
so those are your five. Okay, so before I do my five,
Big Nas, Redman, Black Thought, Jadakiss.
I
okay,
haven't done my five in a minute, so it may change next time you ask me.
because it may
But
change
as
it.
No,
as
it's
of
fluid. It's fluid
as,
because
as of right now.
Andre is like Andre
Ooh.
sneaks in there.
Ooh, yeah.
Andre sneaks
Yeah.
in there. So that's what I'm saying. My five is fluid.
Ooh.
My five fluid. And Jay
Ooh.
tries to sneak in there too.
Yeah, man.
He's on
Hova
my
tries to
list.
sneak in there
He's
too.
on my list.
But
Okay.
I'm really I'm sticking to my five because that's my five favorite lyricists. I love to hear their
Ooh.
voices. Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah. Carol, you might as well go first. Yeah.
Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, I'll go ahead next. But okay, so before I do mine, I have got to just do my whole Jada Kiss locks thing.
Yes.
Since you bring up
Yes.
Jada Kiss. Okay, so back in I think it's like 90, it was 96. There was no like major concert venue in DC back then. It was all in Maryland. And so my cousin got married, and then somehow or another, Puff Daddy, Lil Kim, and the Locks ended up bogarting his reception. I won't say bogarting, but they just came.
Oh, they
in.
bogarted that joke.
They came in the reception, and so I'm sitting there. I'm like 15 years old. Yeah, I was 15, and so I'm sitting there thinking, what kind of guests do they have coming to the reception wearing ski goggles and shiny puffy coats? And so it turns out, that they had a concert that was like 10 minutes away, so they were staying at the hotel, and so they just ended up walking in the reception. And so, like, me loving music, I was just dumbfounded. I was like, oh my God, like they are here at my cousin's wedding reception. And yet I couldn't go and hang out because I was only 15 years old.
Yeah.
But okay, so my top 5 in no particular order.
No particular order.
Yes, the particular order is Jay-Z. It would be Queen Latifah, De La Soul.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Wait a minute. You can't say a group is your top 5.
Why not?
Because everybody in the group's not great.
But okay.
No, I'm not gonna front. Like, I love De La. But everybody in the group's not great.
But it's the
You're talking about
message.
individual MCs.
Individual.
Well, let her cook. Let her cook.
Yeah, you're right.
Let her
Jay.
cook. She can use it collective. Yeah.
You're right, Jay.
Because it's subjective, right? So
Yes,
Jay.
it
You're
is
right.
subjective.
You're right. Because
Yes, so
her
subjective.
experience to that is a little different than our perspective.
Word. I feel you.
Yeah.
You right, Jay.
Yeah. So all right, De La Soul. Yep. You said
De La Soul.
Jay. You said Jay.
Yep. So it was
Queen Latifah.
Jay, Queen Latifah, De La Soul, Common.
Solid.
Common. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Ooh,
And I
we
mean like
forgot about
Common
that.
from the 90s.
How we forget about that?
Like, so
You mean
back
common
when he was
You don't mean
common
common.
sense.
You mean
So,
common
Common sense.
Common
One day
Sense
to all make
Common.
sense album. Yes, indeed.
Yes. And then
Resurrection. That's 4. What's the 5th one?
But there were so many. Okay, now
What's the 5th one?
my number 5, y'all may laugh, Keith Murray.
Keith Murray.
Oh, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. Keith Murray can spit.
Death Squad, baby.
I'm not
Death
laughing.
Squad. Eric Sermon, Keith Murray, Redman, all of that. That's Death Squad.
All that whole Jersey City, that whole vibe they had. I'm not laughing.
Okay,
Keith Murray
no.
Yeah, so those are my 5, and no particular.
That's your 5.
But there are so many more. So that's
it's hard. It's hard to put
very
5
hard to narrow
right?
down.
It's hard to do 5. Like you say, it's hard to do 5. It's easier to do a 10.
And then
because anybody my age to not put Tupac in my 5.
I have a bonus though.
Hard.
Old Kanye. So like
yes.
Old,
talking about backpack
Kanye. Dropout Kanye.
Regardless what he's going through and how how messy and chaotic it may be, you can't deny his artistry.
Yes.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Creativity is messy.
He shaped the culture in a way that nobody ever did.
Not only that, Jay, he introduced 2 different beat styles.
Yes.
Different beat styles.
Yes, major.
He introduced that whole, let me give you a sped up old school 50s, 60s sample. With the high pitch. He introduced that. Like, he introduced that on so many people, different songs. That 50, 60, those soul sample.
Yes.
That was Kanye. That was Kanye. And Kanye introduced drill rap.
Yeah, I think so.
Kanye introduced the whole drill, because that was Chicago. He introduced the whole drill rap beat.
And you can actually argue that Jay's career perhaps would not be as illustrious
because of the beats.
Just listen to the whole listen to the whole Blueprint album. That whole Blueprint album, maybe 7 songs or more was Kanye's production, and the rest was Just Blaze. That really kicked the doors open for that old school sampling of the old school soul music.
Yes.
To the next level.
Yes.
Crazy thing is, I had that album. When was this? This must be summer of 9/11. It was 9/11. I was back home in China, traveling, visiting family. My mother was staying in China at that time.
Okay.
I was visiting her. all up and down China. I was riding the train, and all I had in my ear was Jay-Z's Blueprint album on repeat.
Yes.
So like I had every like musical note, lyrics, and all of that burning to my brain, and I was like, "This is crazy."
I still have the CD in the basement.
I was never a huge Jay fan, but since then I was like, okay, I got to listen to everything else Jay had done before and afterwards, especially if Kanye is producing the tracks.
I never hate on anybody who has Jay in their top 5, but Jay's not a top 5 MC, but he's a top 5 hip hop. Like,
oh, the influence is undeniable.
Like, be the #1 member of hip hop culture, like,
yeah,
bro. But I love Jay-Z too. I love Jay-Z, but it just, my whole thing is the way I grew up is just I don't really feel the whole I'm spitting because I'm rich and all that type stuff.
Braggadocious.
That don't appeal to me as much.
Yeah.
That don't appeal to me as much. That's why Jay don't make the 5. Jay's in 10, definitely. He's number 6 or 7, but he don't make the 10. He don't make the 5 because of that.
Yeah. All right, so let me give you my 5.
Yes, let's hear it.
All right, so
but I'm especially interested because you say you started from a West Coast influence.
Absolutely.
Whereas for me, I started on an East Coast influence and started to like West Coast in high school, and then pivoted back based on my lyrics.
Yeah,
I realized what I liked the most. Like, I loved Dre and them sound. I loved NWA sound. I loved Dre's sound. But the only person I liked to listen to from that whole thing was Snoop.
Yeah.
And Snoop had lyrics.
Yeah.
Snoop had lyrics.
Snoop was
right. That's what brought me right back to the East Coast, and I was on Wu-Tang dumb hard.
Snoop was writing the whole lot for everybody, right? So
Snoop was writing for the whole NWA and all of them. Snoop and Cube was writing for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what brought me back, is like they couldn't hang with, because personally I love the beats. Like I used to have a system in the car and everything. I love the beats, but the lyrics is what draw me in. That's why I'm so interested in your 5.
Jason, what's your Jay's 5?
The West Coast coming east, where we're East Coast going west. That's why I'm so interested in yours.
Yeah, I would say, because the introduction for me was through Pac, so he has to be the first one that I list. It would be remiss if I didn't pay homage to that, right? To that particular experience. So that's one, and obviously Nas. Like Nas is personal for me, right? So that's 2. I would say Talib Kweli, half of Black Star, right? Yes. Talib was like, you talk about lyricists, like that. Can't get more lyrical than Talib, right? Yes. So that was, I actually saw him perform. He came to UC Davis.
Yes, me too. He received Maryland free concert.
Yeah. So that and the
they was about that. They was doing all those concerts.
Oh yeah. So that's
college backpack tours. Yes,
absolutely. And then for me, I would have to put Jay on there, just because I think that Blueprint really connected with me in a personal way that made me want to just listen to everything else he has to say about things.
Got you.
Right. So that's one. And then we got the 5th one. I would have to give it to Wayne.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think I have to
give it to Wayne that hate that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I think about the time where he peaked with the Carter series, right? Like, there's a time where he claimed he was the best rapper alive. Like, at that time, you couldn't debate him. Like, he was pound by pound. Like, everywhere you looked at it, it was like, oh wow, Wayne is rapping like this.
And you know what else? The mixtape Wayne.
Dedication series.
Mixtape Wayne is a GOAT.
Dedication series. It's insane.
It is problem.
It is insane. Like, especially coming from the South, that he wanted to prove everybody wrong. Like, we're not just party rap.
Right.
We are real spitters.
Yo, Wayne took your favorite rapper's beat and freaked it 100 times harder than he ever thought he could.
Flipped it so
every single time.
You didn't want to listen to the original version. You just wanted to listen to Wayne's version.
All I wanted to listen to was No Ceilings.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
No Ceilings, that damn No Ceilings. bruh.
Yeah.
Salute. That No Ceilings, all I ever want to hear is Wayne ripping somebody else's beat.
Right. Right.
My God.
And I think all of these folks that I listed, they weren't afraid to test new boundaries.
Yes.
Right. So you talking about Wayne? He did some rock stuff.
Yes.
The way he wear his clothes, the way he
Skater
did things,
stuff,
it was like, yo, like hip hop don't really really did that until these people do this stuff.
You're right.
Until Wayne came out, now you got Travis Scott and all these
exactly.
And Uzi that's on that. You got Travis Scott and Uzi that's on that whole alternative stuff. That was
exactly.
Wayne's vibe.
That's what I said.
Wayne's
Like
vibe.
from an influence part of it, like you really like we got to pay homage to these people that just didn't care.
Right.
They were like, I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna set this trend, and y'all gonna follow anyways.
Right.
Whether you like it or not. Like that's that unapologetic spirit that hip hop has always had. That it just makes us fans for life. Right. So that's my top 5.
I love it.
And yo, that's a legit 5, and I appreciate it because again, like you had mentioned before, coming from a different country, being introduced to literally Yay area, in its prime. In its prime, though, you were introduced to Yay area in its prime. Like we talking about Pac, 40, and Short. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Which is crazy.
Right?
Which is crazy because these cats are still making music. The Mount Westmore. The Mount Westmore album dropping, right? So that's like they're still making it.
Still making music. And that's why I love our culture so much. Is that like, yo, you showed up and you didn't know like necessarily what was this and what was that, but that is what spoke to you.
Yeah.
That was what spoke to you. And that's why I love our culture so much, because we don't talk about inclusion. We don't talk about exclusion. We talk about inclusion.
Exactly.
About like y'all can be down with us when y'all do these things, not y'all can't be down with us because y'all are those things.
Yeah.
That's something that I thought about hip hop since way back, even when I was like a little kid, because being mixed, it was funny, you know. When you're mixed, it's like, are you black? Are you Spanish? Are you white?
Yeah. I mean, that
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so East Coast hip hop in particular gave me a ground level of who I knew I was. That gave me because for what it's worth in the 80s, and this is something that was new back then. Now it's normal, right? Now it's like average. Everybody has a mixed race family. I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people have a mixed race. Back in the day, that was different.
That's more common nowadays.
But back then it was different, and so
it was common back then too. I mean, it just wasn't maybe as embraced, I'll say, because it was common back in the 90s.
That's the point.
In the 80s,
it wasn't as embraced.
Yeah,
that's the point, Carol. And so, it gave me a center. It gave me a home as to like what my culture was, like who I was, and so. That's what allowed, and that's probably what gravitated me a lot more towards East Coast because of the Afro-Latino influence, especially in New York. And so I started just really listening to those lyricists. And my thing is, I really appreciate your perspective, bro, because coming from a whole nother culture completely, being plopped in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
You don't know what from what. And it just what spoke to you is what influenced you.
Absolutely.
So that's how I know that's authentic.
Man, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
There's a lot of cats. There's a lot of cats out here that's not authentic. They say and do what's popular.
Right. And they don't do their homework, bro. They didn't invest the time to learn about what took place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's dope. And that's what this whole culture is about. And that's why me and Carol felt like it was so important. I wish we could have had more people on the episode because that's why we felt like it was so important to talk about this. Because when me and Carol first started dating, this is like a conversation we had.
Yeah.
Like, who do you like to listen to?
Right. Like, it's important.
Like, what do you like?
We had the same artists in common.
We had the same artists in common. And we started to think about it. It was like, yo, we love our culture. We love hip hop as a culture, not just, oh, I'm gonna listen to whatever's the popular music. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we love hip hop as a culture. We love MCs, we love DJs, we love b-boys, we love graffiti, we love all that. And that's what brought me and her so close together. And I feel like it was so important, like I said, to bring other people on that could
Love of
express that
music.
to us. Because me and Carol, we like could answer the same questions. So we had to bring somebody else on
here. And also because like we love music so much, because like
so
we
much.
like
I gotta give you one funny story.
Yeah, definitely.
So this was perhaps second year undergrad in college.
Okay.
Me and this girl was talking. She was African American, right? So there was some mutual, perhaps romantic feelings and things like that. But that quickly deaded after we talked about hip hop.
Oh, right. She wasn't a fan.
No, she basically said
she didn't know, right?
She said when I said hip hop culture, she's like, "What do you mean? How is that a culture?" I was like, "Nope, can't do it."
Yeah.
Quickly exit left.
She ain't the one, because
he was into the commercial stuff.
Well, no, she didn't even understand the whole idea of how that is a cultural phenomenon, like how that it has life, how that it helps you, build an identity. Like this is a way of life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's nothing more to talk about. We don't need it. We don't. I can't. I cannot. Like that's so fundamental in me. Like I can't picture myself having a deeper relationship with somebody who didn't understand that.
Yeah, definitely.
That
was a prerequisite.
Yeah,
just saying, that's a prerequisite.
You have to know and appreciate hip hop, but
exactly.
I'm going back to you coming here at age 14, like with you growing up in the Bay Area. I mean, there's obviously a huge influence of hip hop, but like with your parents, did you have any pushback from them in terms of your musical choices?
So here's what it is. I came with my dad. I was separated from my mother for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So she stayed in China and me and my dad was here. My dad's family was all here. He was busy working, so he wasn't really paying attention to what was going on in my life. As long as I get good grades, I did what I was supposed to do.
Right.
It was all gravy. Right. He didn't bother me with none of that. Like I wanted the album. He was like, all right, go buy it. Like he didn't speak English. I was the only kid that spoke English in the family. Right. So I was like the family social worker. I was filling out everybody's forms, for food stamps, for Medicaid, for SSI, and all of that.
Yeah, hey, bro, it's not funny, but it's funny that I'm the.
This is a
Why
lot.
Are you laughing, Jason?
No. I get it. This is a lot of the young Asian American kids' experience growing up,
right?
Because they're the only one that speak the language. They're the only American,
right,
in that family that can help the rest of the family navigate society,
right?
So here's the thing, like. My family all knew that I had this affinity and appreciation for Black music, culture, and all of that.
Yeah.
They didn't understand it, but they didn't reject it either. My grandfather worked in a liquor store in MacArthur, East Oakland, MacArthur. That's the hood.
The hood.
Where 99% folks living there are Black. He would, he didn't speak a lot of English. He would get on the bus, he would go work. He would work in the store as just helping stock the shelf and clean up whenever he needed.
Right.
And the kids would bring him CDs to sell it to him. He would just buy all of them because he knew I would appreciate it. So I kid you not, he brought home to me A-Ball MJG's double CD.
That is
waiting to exhale
priceless
soundtrack. That's just two I can name, but he has no idea what the music is. It's whatever young kids would sell to him at the store.
Because you would like it, yeah.
They needed some money or whatever. They like, okay, here you go, sir. Like how much you want to pay for this? He will buy bulk and bring it to me.
Wow.
So I would listen to all of that.
That is so unique. That is so dope, so cool that your grandfather didn't know the music, but he knew that his grandson loved that culture, and so
exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly. It's crazy, but these things make you feel like let's not be timid to engage somebody that look different than us.
Yeah.
Let's talk to them, get
Yes.
to understand them, right? Let's not allow like what the message is in the world to separate us from having the ability and the opportunity to establish authentic relationship and exchange with somebody else outside of our surrounding, our comfort zone. Because you might learn that person got a lot more similar things going on with you than different things.
Yeah.
That part.
Right. So we already know like the narrative is divide and conquer.
Right.
Right. Especially amongst minorities. So let's link up. Let's try to bridge unity whenever we can. Whether that's through hip hop, whether that's through commerce, whether that's through whatever platform, civil rights movement, whatever it may be. Let's build unity and love, and not allow anything to separate us.
And you hit the nail on the head, because I think about a lot of different things that came with hip hop, like the fashion, like our slang, like the different things that came with it from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s to where we are today. And what you just brought up was a perfect thing. It's just like, yo, let's, instead of us trying to separate and say, oh, we're this and we're that, like let's just think about what we have in common. And one of the things, as my personal experience with hip hop, that drove me back in those 80s, 90s, the sneakers became a big deal.
Oh, huge.
You love that's a whole nother episode on just.
That's a whole nother episode. We're gonna have a sneaker episode.
Come back and talk about that. Yeah.
We'll have a sneaker episode one day,
of,
but just
of you
like
and Jay, someone else on sneakers, because that's a whole other episode there.
But it's the fashion. It's the fashion. It's not just, oh, I'm a dress like how it looks in the video. Nah, it's a thought process.
Yeah,
it's a thought process.
It's part of your identity, man.
These kicks, I'm gonna wear this shirt. I'm gonna wear this with this, and it's not just like I'm gonna look cool like the video. It's like I'm gonna represent me.
Yeah.
It was basically allowing ourselves
self-expression.
It was different from our parents' generation. You know what I'm saying? Our parents' generation was on that whole like parliament, and they were on like, you know what I mean? They were on like the doo-wop stuff. Everybody had to have a suit on. Everybody had to look super cool. And
back in the 70s, they were on that whole platform.
And the whole disco stuff.
Zeus too, hats and all that too.
Yeah, like that pimp, like young. When hip hop came, you could be in a hoodie and some jeans and some Timbs, and you was the coolest nigga in the party.
That's the vibe. Like that's why
the vibe, because it didn't matter what you looked like; it mattered what you brought to the table.
Right.
I mean, that's what's so different about all these other generations, is that like if you could flow. So, for example, we love to talk about minorities and how we big up minorities and how the people that inspire us, generally speaking, are minorities. But I'm gonna flip it for you one time. When Eminem came up,
oh yeah,
he changed.
He flipped all that shit, because he said, "Yo, I was like, I'm a white boy. I might have grown up in the hood, but I'm a white boy and I can spit too."
Yeah.
And so that just changed the game, where it's just like, yo, it's not about being black or Puerto Rican or Dominican or Cuban or none of that shit. It's not about that. It's about, do you got skills or not?
Right.
Do you got skills or not?
Yeah.
And so that's what precipitated what's happened since the 2000s, I feel like, in our culture. Is just like, do you got skills or not?
Yeah.
Like, if you love sneakers, do you got skills or not?
Yeah. Knowledge.
Do you love beats? Do you love beats? Do you have skills or not?
Yeah.
And so like think about like Neptunes and them. From your fam, Carol, living in Hampton Roads.
Right.
Think about Neptunes and them. Like, they not in no major area where everybody like, oh, let's mess with Hampton Roads. But they had a vibe and they had a style and they did their thing, and everybody felt it because they did their thing and they were authentic. They were authentic. And that's what really matters, is that authenticism.
Yeah.
Are you frozen? I'm gonna pause.
No, I'm not frozen.
You aren't frozen. You looking at your phone, ain't you?
I need my charger. I was texting Aaliyah saying, With the charger. Yeah, so I wasn't not listening. I was trying to make sure that
she should be a guest on this episode.
Well, she's about to be up in this room.
No, real talk. A 15-year-old who's invested into the culture. He's invested into the culture.
Yeah, and I mean, her all-time favorite artist is Lauryn Hill, and so I was
the fact that my oldest daughter's favorite artist is Lauryn Hill.
That's crazy.
Bro, I won.
Crazy,
I won it life. I'm about to check out. I'm about to clock out right now.
Yeah.
I won. My daughter's favorite artist is Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm about to clock out.
Yeah.
I clock out. I'm done.
This has been a fantastic episode of the Linguistic Show.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
We as the culture are celebrating 50 years of hip hop. Even though we weren't born back then, this culture is not going to die.
It's not going to die.
It is embedded in
it's global.
It's global. It's worldwide, baby.
Yeah.
And so I have definitely enjoyed, chatting with you, Jay, learning more about your background in terms of coming here from China. It just like embracing hip hop culture, opposed to say country or rock and roll or whatever else was out there.
Right. And let me say this, right? Like 90% of the Black people that I come across, they embrace me.
Mm-hmm.
So
come on, Mob Deep, Jamie.
So it's like, if you show me love, guess what? I'm gonna return the love tenfold. Right. So that's what it is. Like it really was coming from a place of, okay, this group of people was showing me love. Let me understand what their culture is about.
Yeah. That is a phenomenal message. So do you want to add anything, Jason, before we wrap up?
Do I want to add anything? No, I'm good. Like, I feel like we touched all the bases. Not only did we touch all the bases, I feel like it's important that we give multiple perspectives to the movement. Because I feel like hip hop is a movement. It's not just like a thing. It's a movement. It's a culture.
It's life. I mean, this is life.
It is our life. Yes. Like, let's be real. I wouldn't be a sneaker collector if it wasn't for hip hop.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a dude with like 35 fitted caps if it wasn't for hip hop.
So like you can have a whole nother episode on hip hop fashion with Jay and somebody else.
The word atomically 7 different ways if it wasn't for Inspector Deck.
Yeah.
I can rhyme bomb atomically 7 different ways. I bomb atomically. Like, I can rhyme that 7 different ways because of hip hop.
Let me just wrap up. So thank you, Jay, for joining Jason and I on this episode of the Linguistic Show. I have thoroughly enjoyed our conversation and just like having flashbacks to the 80s and 90s. And so, Jason, do you want to add anything about how to find us?
Hey, look, please,
little person's voice.
All the platforms. You could go on your phone, you can go on your laptop, you can be in your car and just hit the little microphone button and say, hey, play Linguistic Show. And guess what? You're gonna hear us.
Yep, and y'all, it works. So y'all can check out past episodes of the show on Spotify, Google Podcast, and TuneIn. We are making a new foray into video. So I'm trying out some new formats on Zoom. That's why we have our little people. For those of us watching on YouTube, like you see little people in the box, but we're trying new things with our show. And so thank you for joining.
Thanks, everybody.